Welcome to Communication 200, Mass Communication and Society. This is Professor Jody Gurman at Mendocino College. Today, we're going to be looking at Chapter 6, Movies and the Impact of Images. Our chapter begins with a look at Avatar, one example of a blockbuster film that broke new technical ground and changed the way Hollywood does business. By the late 1800s, a number of inventors were working on capturing moving images and projecting them. Thomas Edison developed the kinetograph and the kinetoscope. Meanwhile, Louis and Auguste Lumiere developed the cinematograph. Edison followed with the vitascope. To become a mass medium, the early silent films had to offer what books had achieved: the suspension of disbelief and narratives that engaged an audience's imagination. Often managed by immigrants, Nickelodeons required a minimal investment. By 1919, the movie industry's three basic economic divisions, production, distribution, and exhibition, had been established. By the 1920s, film production had evolved into the studio system, which turned movie making into an assembly line process, with stars, directors, editors, writers, and others working under exclusive contracts. Production companies developed distribution techniques like block booking, pressuring theater operators to screen marginal films with no stars in order to have access to popular films with big stars. Producers like Adolf Zucker conspired to dominate exhibition by owning the first-run theaters, and they attracted middle and upper-class audiences with movie palaces. Filmmakers refined narrative techniques during the silent era. The Hollywood star system was also established as film became a viable art form. The Jazz Singer came out in 1927, starring Al Jolson. It was the first feature-length film with sound, but the breakthrough film was The Singing Fool in 1928, also starring Jolson. Three ingredients give Hollywood movies their distinctive flavor: narrative, genre, and author or director. The two basic components of the narrative are the story, what happens to whom, and the discourse, how the story is told. By making films that fall into popular genres, the movie industry provides familiar models that can be imitated. Two related economic goals are product standardization and product differentiation. Although hundreds of people contribute to a film's production, the director serves as the main author. By the mid-1950s, significant cultural and social changes, such as suburbanization and television, had begun to reshape the movie-going experience. In 1947, conservative members of Congress began investigating Hollywood for communist ties. The Hollywood 10 were 9 screenwriters and 1 director who refused to name names when called upon by the House Un-American Activities Committee. They landed in jail and were later blacklisted, ruining their careers. By the mid-1940s, the Justice Department was demanding that the 5 major film companies end vertical integration. This was known as the Paramount Decision. After World War II, people began moving to the suburbs and spending most of their discretionary income on household products instead of on movie tickets. With television dominating family audiences by the mid-1950s, Hollywood directors began to explore topics that were formerly off-limits to film. The videocassette in the 1970s transformed contemporary movie exhibition, a transformation that continues with streaming video and other technologies. By the 1970s, Hollywood had begun to invest in multi-screen movie complexes and to try for blockbuster hits. Studios need a couple of major hits each year to offset losses on other films. The top 7 theater chains operate more than 50% of U.S. screens. From the late 1990s to today, the movie industry has been ruled by 6 companies: Warner Brothers, Paramount, 20th Century Fox, Universal, Columbia Pictures, and Walt Disney. After witnessing the difficulties that illegal file sharing brought on the music labels, the movie industry has embraced the internet. Independent films, supported by digital technology, have helped new voices bring a greater breadth of human experiences and stories to film screens. Commercial U.S. films function as consensus narratives by providing shared cultural experiences. Thanks for listening. Tune in next time when we review Chapter 8, Magazines in the Age of Specialization.